Hi, I'm Bernie Wall, and welcome to another episode of the Museum of Women's History. And today I'm with Jenna Richter, the Executive Director of the Moss Mansion. Welcome.
Thank you.
And just to let you know, we are sponsored by Group Destination Travel Planners. So, you haven't been back in Montana for very long.
No, I haven't. It's just been a couple months so far.
And why don't you tell everybody where you were before you came back to Montana?
I was actually living in San Diego the last 13 years and was able to work for nonprofits there and enjoy all that the sunny weather had to offer, but family and friends were calling and it was time to come home.
And speaking of family, you come from quite a few women who are into business. Why don't you tell us who your family is?
Yes, well, my grandmother is Jessica Durnell Smith, and she's quite well known in this area. She's a fabulous artist. I can attest to that. If you came to my home in San Diego, or even now, it's almost like I have her own art gallery there. But
There you
she
go.
does wonderful artwork and has been in Billings for many, many years, and actually was a past and current supporter of the Moss Mansion. So I was able to talk to her a little bit about this job when I was first looking at the job description online. And then my mom has been in Billings and she runs and owns Gallery Interiors downtown. So I have a lot of art experts in the family, not necessarily so much myself, but good references.
So when you were little, did you do art? Did your grandma sit down with you and say, "Okay, honey, we're gonna paint a picture today"? Or
No, I really did not get that wonderful artistic gene. I'm more of the behind the scenes. I like to organize stuff. You know, give me a cupboard, I will clean your cupboards. I do a great job with that.
so when can you come
Spatial.
over?
I know. I'm able to book for appointments.
Oh, wonderful! I'll just send you a little email.
Yeah.
So how do you like working at the Moss Mansion? Is it everything you would hope for? Did you have an idea of what you were getting yourself into?
Absolutely. It has been wonderful. And I came at one of the best times of the year. I mean, I got here in October, so we had our Halloween haunted house, which, I mean, they told me it was going to be busy over on Clark Avenue. I knew it would be busy, but those were like San Diego kinds of crowds out for the haunted house. And then moving into the holiday season, and we just had a family festival last weekend, so it's been wonderful and great things to come, I know.
It must be. I mean, it must be odd to have to decorate such a huge house as opposed to a normal size house.
I know, it's kind of funny that my house is barely decorated and yet the Moss is completely tricked out. And the reason, wonderful volunteers. We had a lot of nonprofit organizations in town come in and select a room and decorate a tree in that room. I should have just added my house onto that list.
Is it too late?
I did finally get everything done the other day, but it's such a neat thing to be able to walk down the stairs and see the twinkly lights in all of the rooms, and everyone has their own take on what the holidays mean to them and how they've decorated their trees. So,
And what would you say is the most unique or the most unexpected tree? I'm sure they're all lovely in their own way, but is there one that you went, that's interesting?
they're all wonderful, and I have to tell you, I have a soft spot in my heart for animals. So I saw Beartooth Nature Center's tree, and theirs is done. Our theme this year is Christmas memories, and theirs was done in memory of some of the animals they lost last year. And so I was looking at that tree going, but they did a very nice job, along with so many other nonprofits. We've got the Girl Scouts that did a wonderful tree this year, and Alberta Bear Theater, Billings Studio Theater, a lot of wonderful nonprofits represented in the house this year.
And when can people take tours if they wanted to come take a tour of the trees and see them?
We are open. In fact, people have until January 8th to come in and see trees. We're open every day except for Mondays. So Tuesday through Sunday, with the exception of Saturday, you can come in at 1, 2, and 3 for tours. We have fabulous tour guides that will take you through the house. And then Saturdays we open at 10. And first tour starting at 10, last one ending at 3, and they're every hour on the hour.
Well, good deal.
Yes.
And speaking of Christmas, and next thing people think about is shopping.
Yes.
And I see you brought some things to
did.
show us today.
Yes, well, some people might know that we have a gift shop over at the Moss Mansion, and it's a wonderful place to come for truly unique gifts. You won't find them anywhere else in Billings. So I brought an example. We're, I believe, kind of known for teapots and teacups, amongst other things. In fact, I've been purchasing jewelry there like it's going out of business, and scarves. So it's a great place to add to your shopping list if you're kind of out and about looking for something special.
And where did you grow up?
I was born in Cut Bank, Montana. Don't even ask. Very small town, but moved to Bozeman when I was in middle school. So I kind of like to say I'm from Bozeman, and I'm a Bobcat. So I went to MSU and enjoyed all the skiing there through school and everything.
You people in Montana are really, really possessive of your cats and grizz.
Holy cow! I know. I have to come back and get back into the spirit. I was still watch the Chargers and NFL, but yeah, it's nice to see that aside from this last weekend's kind of game, the Bobcats are having a pretty good year.
Oh, okay.
As well as the Grizz, but yeah.
So do you wear a jersey and sit in front of the TV and shout and throw popcorn?
But I should have put that on my list. I think I should put that on my Christmas wish list. I got to get the T-shirt going again. The
there
jersey.
you go. One of the things I was reading in your bio was that when you were in your 20s, you were diagnosed with blood cancer.
Yes.
And do you want to tell us a little bit about that?
Sure, absolutely. I actually spent the last almost 9 years working for the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society. It was a very conscious choice to go into nonprofit and work for an organization that was near and dear to my heart because I was diagnosed at a young age. My diagnosis was very unusual. It's actually something that you wouldn't get until you were in your 80s, and
Really?
here I was 20 with myelodysplastic syndrome, so a very rare form of blood cancer. Was in Bozeman at the time, going to school, and thought I was just I was just too busy. I thought that the bruising or the lightheadedness, I was just tired. I really expected that I would go into the nurse practitioner and just get a pep talk on eating better and getting more sleep. And what it turned into was a couple years of treatment for me, and my cure came from a bone marrow transplant. I have an unrelated donor from Canada who donated her bone marrow, and I'm living proof for those out there that there's a lot of amazing treatment options for patients today. It's changed so much since I had my transplant, but it'll always be a cause that I root for since I'm a success story.
That's wonderful. And don't they also have a website that if you wanted to become a bone marrow donor, you could?
Yes. In fact, if you go to even just www.lls.org, it gives you all kinds of information on different blood cancers, where you can donate bone marrow. We're always looking for donors because you never know who might be that person that can give you the best gift there is, which is, I like to say I count 2 birthdays a year. I mean, you have to after going through that. So it's that second birthday.
And that's a wonderful thing. That's wonderful that someone will do that.
It absolutely is. And the community of Bozeman was just so phenomenal when I was going through that time. And it's just amazing to see what communities will do. And that's part of why I really enjoy moving back to Billings. It's the community feel. And I've already just jumped right in. It's been great.
What would you say the difference is between living in a big city and living in Billings?
It's funny because I used to say when I'd first moved to San Diego, I love Montana, I love going back to visit, but it's great to live in San Diego. And in the last couple of years, it's been the reverse. San Diego's a great place to go and visit. I just love the smaller hometown feel, and it's been so nice to be close to family for me.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
And what's something, when you came back to Billings, what's one of the first things you did?
Oh, invited myself over to my sister's.
There you go. Did she feed you?
She did. It's actually her husband that's a pretty good cook. No offense to my sister, but she just had a baby, so I have a new nephew, and
congratulations.
It's a lot of fun. Yeah.
How new is new?
2 weeks.
Wow.
He's 2 weeks. He's a little guy. Yeah.
Oh, for fun.
Yeah.
And does he have brothers and sisters, or?
He does. So I have a nephew here, Colin, who's 10, and a niece who's Addie, and she's 5, and they both actually came over to the house with me last week at the Moss Mansion because we had family festival.
Okay, that makes sense.
So there were tons of things going on there for kids, and it was fun to be able to bring them over and take them around, and they could see where Auntie works.
So does Auntie take them out and do things with them? Do you guys go out and shopping or playing, or?
Oh, we do. We do. In fact, it was the See Red event at the, the Christmas stroll with the flash mob. Colin and I did that together. So,
oh, for fun.
Yeah, it was fun. Yeah.
So you're the cool auntie.
Apparently, yes. I'm gonna stick with that. Yes, I'm the cool auntie.
There you go. Do you have a little tidbit since you started working at the Moss that's maybe something people don't know about the Moss, just some little tidbit that people have never heard of, they haven't read about, or something like that?
Sure. Well, I think one of the things that that I have to remind myself when I'm over there, and I was just doing it the other day, when you're going through the house, you have to stop and look up because the ceilings in the Moss Mansion are all different, and the woodwork is amazing, and the hand painting. One of my favorite rooms over there is the grandparents' rooms, and there are pictures of swallows hand painted on the ceiling because they wanted the grandparents to feel comfortable when they moved into the house. So you have to look at every little aspect of it. There's always something new to see.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah.
It's kind of like when you drive by a neighborhood you've been all the time, and all of a sudden has that house always been there?
Yeah, I know. I'm still going through rooms and seeing something new.
Is it creepy to be in the house?
You know, a lot of people ask me that, and there are stories. People have kind of the ghost stories. For me, I feel at home. I have moved right in, and I'm there late or it's dark, and I haven't had anything crazy happen.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
Do you have people telling you that they've had crazy things happen?
I've heard some of the stories, so I definitely have an eye out. But for me, the thing that probably surprised me the most is when it was windy the other day. Ooh, it was whipping through. I sit in my office is in the third floor, and it sounded a little scary, but I figured the house has been there over 100 years. I'm in good shape.
I would be worried thinking the house was settling and hearing all the creaking and, because older houses, when they settle.
Yes. I probably don't hear anything over the sound of my space heater. It's very cold on the third floor, so I've got them all cranked up.
All of them? So there's more than one?
I have two. I'm still kind of making that transition back into cold weather. So if you come to my office, it probably feels like San Diego in there.
So do you have a coat and a parka and gloves and everything too while you've got all the
Yes.
space heaters going?
My sister introduced me to this fabulous thing called Smart Wool. So I
Okay.
bought my first pair of socks that I've had in ages.
Oh, I suppose you probably don't need to wear
I'm
socks, do
layering
you?
up. No, didn't own any socks in San Diego.
I do think it's true that when you do live in a warmer climate, I do think your blood thins out. I always thought that was just a myth, but I think it's true.
I think so. Yeah, I think I can attest to that now.
Maybe next year your blood will be a little thicker.
I think yes, it will. It will. I'll take a layer off by next year.
Oh, there you go. In the summertime, if you're all layered up, then I think people should worry.
Then there's probably something wrong. Yeah.
And what types of things do you like to do on your spare time?
I like all kinds of stuff. I'm definitely enjoying spending time with family. I love to do things like yoga or dance, read, walking, hiking, and hopefully we'll get back. We'll see. It's been a long time since I've skied, but that's one of the draws. Not been so much of a water person in San Diego with beaches, but grew up around the mountains, and we'll take that up get
Do you like cross
Hopefully it's
country or
like-
downhill skiing?
I did mainly downhill skiing.
Did you?
So, hopefully it's like the riding a bike and get back out there.
And do you do yoga in a class or do you do yoga at home? And how did you get into yoga?
I need the accountability. I got to go to class. I have to have someone say, you're here, check. So, yeah, took a lot of classes.
Did you take classes? I've heard that you can take yoga classes where the room is extremely hot and
I can't do that. I like the kinder, gentler, don't do the extreme heat. No extreme cold, no extreme heat. But I used to at MSU when I went there and in school, I took a lot of dance lessons, so I still like to do stuff along that line.
And do you like to collect art or antiques or what type of things do you collect? Do you have collections going or?
I do. My whole family. If you know my grandmother, she's got the log cabin, the log home on Rimrock, and it's a phenomenal home. It's full of primitive antiques. So I've been raised with art and antiques in my background. So yeah, I have to keep up with the rest of the family.
So do you like to go to your grandma's or your mom's and go shopping?
Yes. Well, I go and get decorating ideas because they
Ah.
both do such wonderful things, and then I go home and, it's flattery, right? Copying, imitations, sincere form
Exactly.
of flattery. Yeah.
What do you want to do with your house? Do you have anything? Is there a particular room that you want to work on after seeing everything your grandma and your mom have done? Or
No, at this point in time, it's about getting unpacked. I'm not totally unpacked yet, but I've taken my mom through and we've noted some of the bare walls. I put in my order.
Oh, that
I
a
could
girl.
use artwork over there. So right now, I think it really is just finishing getting settled.
And do you feel settled? I mean, do you feel like you're at home? I'm assuming that when you first moved back, there was a little bit of that transition.
Sure. Yeah. No, but it feels like home. So it really, people were calling me, my friends and past coworkers from San Diego. Do you miss us yet? It's like, well, I miss you.
Yeah.
I'll visit you, but I'm really, really glad to be back.
Have you gotten to travel a lot?
I did. I traveled a lot with my job. I was the executive director for the San Diego, Hawaii chapter. Pretty tough, but part of my territory was Hawaii. And
Oh,
then
poor dear.
we have chapters everywhere. I didn't get out there as often as one would think, but
As often? How
yeah,
often
I
did
know.
you get there?
Well, once a year.
Oh, well.
My annual trip.
Oh, okay.
The staff did a great job. I didn't need to go out there that often, but there are 62 chapters in a lot of different locations for LLS. So I'd be in New York and places like that. So I enjoyed traveling and getting to see the world that way.
What was one of your favorite places you traveled to?
I did really enjoy New York, Manhattan. Yes, our office was in White Plains, but you could take a train and go into Manhattan. A totally different feel and look. There's really no other place like it out there, so that was a lot of fun.
Did you get to catch shows and stuff like that while you were out there, or was it strictly work?
It was a lot of work, but the occasional Broadway show would find its way into my schedule. Yeah,
Well, you know, it's good to get those in now and then.
exactly, yeah.
What, do you have any plans for this upcoming year? I mean, you've only been back for 2 months. Is there anything in particular you want to see happen with your life this year?
Well, for the Moss, I'm just really excited to have a full year to see all the events. We have an event that comes up in the spring called the Heritage Home Tour, which I hear was very popular last year, getting to tour through some of the homes over on Clark Avenue.
Oh,
and
for
we have
fun.
Spring Fest, which is a fantastic art show that's done out on the lawn of the Moss. So really, the events that they do are fantastic, and it's really my job to kind of look at those things, continue doing what's working, and come up with some of the maybe creative ideas of some new things that we can throw into the mix.
I think that'd be nice, because I think they have done a lot of the same things, and it would be nice for something new and exciting. And
Yeah, well, and the house is there for the education and enjoyment of the public, and we're really looking to get it out there more. In fact, this last year I was very impressed, though. We have school tours of little kids that come through, and we've had over 1,300 kids come through the house this year. So they get educated on what it's like, you know, what life was like 100 years ago, and the Moss family was very ahead of their time in their day. So it's fun to watch them come through and make comments. In fact, one little boy the other day, he says, "I like this house. How much is it? I think I'll buy it." Oh, they're very cute.
I would get nervous having little kids go through the house and worry that everyone was going to little fingers all over everything.
Yeah, I wondered about that, but they have been so well behaved, and they ask great questions, and it's just fun to hear the little feet on all the different floors going around, and they've been very good.
Do you get to give tours too, or are you more the executive hiding upstairs?
I don't. Not hiding upstairs.
Well, not hiding. I don't mean hiding.
No,
but
no. I would say our volunteers do such a fantastic job giving tours. I want to go on each one of their tours so I can learn about what they do. And for me, I'm still kind of just learning about the house, but I can tell you a few things as we go through. It's probably just not as full of a tour yet as what you get from the other tour guides.
And I think that would be neat if you were able to take a tour with each of your guides, because each one has a different expertise.
They do, and they tell the stories a little differently, or they've been around. Some of them have such expertise on the house that it's new things that pop up all the time that you go, oh, that's so interesting that they felt that way, or that they did something in a certain way, or they made a decision about how they wanted the house to be. It's really neat.
Do you have a lot of the original plans or pictures, or what types of things?
Yes, in fact, there's an extensive collection of things that are original to the home, paperwork from P.B. Moss and all of his businesses that he did. So it's really a kind of a treasure hunt. With some of it is we're discovering new things. People will send us things that they've just collected themselves and returned it back to the home. So there's a lot that goes with the house that's original and really tells the full story of how the Moss family lived.
They mean by collecting it on their own on a tour and taking it home?
No. Somehow it had been gifted, or they'd picked it up at some different estate sale. We had a woman send something back from back east that somehow had been gifted a few things from the Moss and sent it back. So we have volunteers that work on collections and painstakingly account for all of it and have a cataloging process so that we can find things and know what rooms they're in.
It must be exciting to be able to go through that whole house. You know, especially the places the tour can't go.
Yes.
Which I can understand why you can't let people go, but it must be fun. I would be like a kid in a candy store. Ooh, what's in here? What's in here?
It is really neat, but I have to say I definitely get caught up as I'm walking through just with the Christmas decorations this year.
I'm sure.
nothing neater than just being able to go through and see trees in every single room, and you can feel the holiday spirit there. And I would say it's a great place to bring friends, family, if you have people visiting over the holidays. It's just a nice way to kind of take a break from all the holiday craziness and shopping deadlines and all of that.
And plus, do some shopping while you're there.
Well, yes, one-stop shop.
Exactly. What more can you want? And you guys are on Facebook now, aren't you?
We are. You can find us on Facebook. We're posting pictures all the time. We have some up of the Family Festival this weekend. We had a carriage ride going on and music inside.
Oh,
So
for
it was
fun.
a lot of fun.
Did you get to go on the carriage ride?
I didn't. There was a long enough line where I went, darn, I'm going to have to figure this out and pre-plan next time.
I'll be the first in line.
Very popular.
I know what time it starts. I'll be there first.
Yes, because it looked like a lot of fun.
And in the spring, what exactly is the event that you were telling us about in the spring?
So Heritage Home Tour is an opportunity to come through. I believe last year there were 8 or 9 houses that you could go through and tour on Clark Avenue to see just what they look like, all the preservation and restoration that's been done in them. And then we have kind of a block party on the lawn of the Moss, and beer and that kind of thing.
Cool.
So that's a lot of fun. We sell tickets for that. And then after that comes Spring Fest, which is the art show, and it's another great place to kind of showcase the exterior of the Moss, where you can come and go through, get some food, and see if you can find that piece of art that you've been looking for.
Exactly. One of the things that, as the pictures have been going by, that I just love is the picture of the Moss at night at Christmas. I just think it's amazing.
Yes.
And when my husband and I have driven by, it looks so pretty, like a Christmas card.
The lights outside, and when it snows, it just looks amazing. And I can't even begin. The city is fabulous because they put those lights up and help us maintain them. I can't even begin to tell you how many lights are on the house. They're everywhere. We've got the huge wreath that gets hung up with a crane that goes out in front of the house, and the trees up front. So it's beautiful.
Do you have a huge generator in the basement?
I know. More like it's our house manager running around plugging in extension cords and working on timers. But yeah.
Is there anything that you, in particular, that you'd like to see have happen? I know there's only a few weeks left in the year, but is there anything in particular you'd like to see to end the year with the Moss Mansion?
I think a great way to end the year would just be to see any number of people stop by during their holiday. Put it on your list of things to do, and come and check us out over the holidays. It's one of the best times to see the house. And come and vote for your favorite tree. All of these nonprofits have decorated their individual trees.
Okay.
We have a little competition going on.
Oh.
So we take the best, we tally up all the votes and give prizes out to People's Choice Awards, so just all over favorite tree, and the tree that best interprets our theme this year, which is Christmas memories. So you want to help them out. We give out a $150 gift to the 2 top winners.
Oh, wonderful.
And so they're all vying for that donation.
Well, see, I think that's wonderful, and that if you know someone who's put up one of the trees, you have to go so you can vote.
Absolutely. You have to go in and support them.
Exactly.
And you can see online at mossmansion.com which nonprofits are helping us out this year, and some pictures of the house, and definitely come by and support.
Is it something that people are scrambling to get into the house? Is it something you put up a call for people if they want to come help decorate a tree, or how do you find the nonprofits who do it?
It's been pretty popular, so it's not something we widely advertise, but those who know of it or word of mouth will call, and believe me, we start in January. We'll have our theme ready to go, and we'll already be taking reservations for the rooms.
Wow. How do you pick your theme?
It's volunteer generated, so they come up with ideas, and we pick one and kind of just move it around, change it up every year.
Oh, that's a fun way. It never occurred to me that you guys would have to pick a theme, so that's kind of cool that you guys do that.
Yeah, I think we've had White Christmas before, and Christmas Around the World, and things like that. So it makes it fun and kind of throws out a new challenge to everybody decorating to see how they can spin that and what it means to them.
Do you think everybody's spending the year getting ready for it? When they know what the theme is, they spend the year finding all the decorations and stuff for it?
Some of these trees are large, 8-foot trees. You need a lot of decorations and a lot of planning that goes into it, so I think they do spend quite a bit of time pre-planning and putting their committees together and then coming in to decorate, yeah.
Do they bring their own tree in, or do you have it?
We keep the trees
Okay.
and have wonderful volunteers that will carry them all the way from the 3rd floor down to the other floors, and then they bring all the decorations.
How do you plan on spending Christmas this year?
For the first time in many, many years, I will not be spending it on the road driving from San Diego to Billings. So it's nice to be here and spending it with family and watching the kids, open presents, and that sort of thing. It'll be great.
And being fed.
Absolutely, that goes with the territory. Yes, it's all about the food around my family, yes.
And your family, you said you were Polish?
Yes, both sets of grandparents on both sides.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So my grandma always told me I had the cheeks to prove it. Yeah.
Oh.
The Polish cheeks.
Bless her heart.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for
Thank
coming to visit
you.
with us today.
It was great. Thank you so much.
And it was neat to be able to hear things about the Moss Mansion, and it was very nice to meet you, and we really appreciate you coming.
Well, I appreciate it too, and hopefully I'll see you over there.
Oh, I'm sure at some point in
Have you
time.
over. Yes.
And I just wanted to let you know that the Museum of Women's History our visiting hours are Monday, Tuesday, Thursday from 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. And we're always looking for volunteers. And coming in January, we're going to have a membership drive. So thank you so much for watching, and have a good day.